Steps in, starts it. Crosby scores! At 12 seconds of the second period.
Hello and welcome to MegaHockey, the podcast. I am Megalite, joined as always by Datroy. How's it going, Datroy?
Very well, very well. We're in the midst of the season here. Off to a good start. Excited to jump back on after a little bit of a delay and absence and talk some hockey.
Yes. So I was going to catch up on that point before we said the podcast. So it's kind of a new era in MegaHockey. Like, I changed the logo. We're going to be doing weekly, weekly recaps, just like telling the scores, maybe saying some extra stuff. We'll do some previews of important events in the NHL. But yeah, so this is a new era of MegaHockey. Might even expand, who knows? So I'll start with this. I changed the logo. Go check it out on YouTube. It's actually pretty cool. Without further ado, let's start. So, Dot, what can you tell us what we're doing today?
So we're going to just recap what's been going on in the league since the season started. We'll go division by division. Just talk about some of the stories, some of the highlights, some of the things that jump out this early on.
So this is the scores for the last 3 days. So currently there are many games going on, actually. All 32 teams are playing today. So we got Philly-Pittsburgh 2-1 Philly in the third period, 12 minutes left. We have Toronto-Calgary, it's a 3-2 Toronto. Third period, 11 minutes left. We have Vegas-Carolina tied 2-2, second period, 5 minutes left. And we have Buffalo-Columbus, 4 minutes left in the second period. We have Anaheim-Florida, that's 0-0, second period, 12 minutes left. We have Islanders in Boston, that's 2-0 Islanders the first division, and we have Tampa Bay Nashville. So we have many Tampa Bay Nashville. And then we have Tampa Bay Nashville at 0-0 in the first period with 10 minutes left. We have Jets Wild 0-0 first period, 17 minutes left. And we have the Red Wings and Blues started at 8:15. Caps Stars started at 8:30, and we have many games after that. Yesterday there were only 2 games. We had Penguins 6-3 over the Blues and Senators 7-2 over the Bruins that killed them. Then the 26th we had 8 games. A lot of OTs in this one. And we had Devils 4-3 over Avalanche, which is an OT. We had Lightning 2-1 over Vegas in OT. We had and Sharks 6-5 over the Wild in OT, and then we had Mammoth 3-2 over Jets, Kings 3-1 over Blackhawks, Stars 3-2 over the Preds, and we had another OT game, Canucks versus Oilers, which was 4-3 Canucks, and we had Flames killing the Rangers 5-1. So those are your pretty recent games. So now we're gonna get into some storylines of the season and the standings.
So you want to start with the Atlantic?
We can start with the Atlantic. We should start with some highlights in the league standings first. Okay, let's start. So his NHL and the entire league, highlights that stand out. We have some weird teams coming up as first in this early stretch of the season. We have the Devils, not too bad, not too weird, but they're 8-1 with 16 points, and so very good. For them, and they've only played 9 games. We have the Mammoth, they're 8-2 with 16 points. We played 10 games. And we have Pittsburgh with 7-2 and 15 points. And 7-2-1 with 15 points in 10 games. So 3 teams that we didn't really necessarily expect to be in the top 3. I mean, Devils probably top 10, but not first in the league. And then you got another outlier is Montreal with 7-3 in 10 games, 14 points. The rest is kind of just teams that you would expect to be there, but some teams like Dallas, Washington, Winnipeg, we're going to expect them to go up later in the season. Let's get to our divisions.
So you want to talk division by division, or you want to talk overall league? What do you want to do?
All right, let's talk the overall.
Okay, so the division. So we look at the Atlantic. We'll start with the Atlantic. First of all, I think the Atlantic is the most exciting division in the NHL. When you have the 3 teams that were the new guys, the guys who were trying to take that next step and make the playoffs, Montreal, Detroit, Ottawa, and now they're top 3 in the division. So you have these up-and-coming teams that were trying to break through. It appears like they're breaking through, but you also have the great teams in that division, Florida, Toronto, Tampa, and Florida, they're just going to be around until the playoffs when they get Kachuk and Barkov back. Toronto, they'll figure it out. They have too much talent. Tampa's surprising. They're 7th in division as of this recording, but you know that they have too much talent to be 7th. So I think that division, I think it's the most exciting division in hockey. I think Montreal is one of the most exciting teams in hockey. They're just playing this amazing hockey. Caulfield is insane. It's Demidov and Schaefer for the Calder. I think Demidov's going to win the Calder simply because I think the Islanders will cut Schaefer's time and scale him back a little bit given that he's 18. So that's just a really exciting division. I mean, Buffalo has started off, they're 500, so they're in the mix here. Boston, I think, is hopeless this year, but I think the other 7 teams, I think you're going to have some really exciting moves in that division. It's going to be really interesting to see who makes the playoffs there.
Yeah, yeah, like as you said in the Atlantic division, you got 3 guys coming up, and then you got 2 guys that are necessarily progressing. I mean, Florida's fine because they're just gonna get their guys during the playoffs and then go for a run. But then you got Buffalo. I mean, you got Toronto and Tampa. I mean, Tampa's regressing. Obviously, the core, Vazzy, Kucherov, Point. They're getting older. They're in their 30s now, and not going to be as good. So I expect them to be in a wild card this year, probably by the end. And Toronto, I mean, they trade away Marner, so very hard hit for their core. And yeah, there's generally not going to be as good until Mize either steps into a position where he can do that, which is what they're trying to get in now. But I don't think it's this year. I think next year is probably when they'll be well enough competitive.
I think that Toronto, you know, they're scoring. Their big 3 is scoring. I mean, Nylander's got 11 assists already. Tavares and Matthews are point a game. For me, it's the same story with Toronto. It's the defense and it's the goaltending. So you look at goals saved above expected. Stolarz is 62nd in the league, minus 3.6. Toronto is like Edmonton. They have to figure it out with goaltending and defense. And with Marner leaving, maybe that will push them to really solve this problem. But they are scoring. Their guys are scoring. And, you know, Montreal, their goalie, Montreal's very interesting because they jumped out. They're 7-3. Montembeault has played terribly. He's 68 in the league in goals saved above expected, minus 6.3. But Dobes is, I don't know how to pronounce his name, but Dobes, he's 2nd in the league. He's plus 9 goals saved above expected. So that's interesting to me. I don't know if that's going to continue or that's going to reverse, but when you have your backup really covering your starter's butt there by playing so well, put Montreal in a really good position. So we'll see if that can continue. I don't think Ottawa's going to keep it up with Tkachuk being out, but it's a nice story for them hanging around. I don't think Detroit is even that good, so I don't think they're going to keep it up. But Detroit's 6-3 right now, so we'll see what happens. We'll see if they can keep it together.
Yeah, I think one of them, Ottawa or Detroit. I think Montreal's. I think all 3 of those teams actually will make the playoffs, but I think it's going to even out with Toronto, Florida, maybe Ottawa, maybe not making the playoffs. But yeah, you also have 2 teams, Washington and Detroit, who have a 6.67 win percentage. Yeah, so let's go over to the Metropolitan. And we really only have one team here that's surprising, and that's Pittsburgh. I mean, we thought that they were going to get worse, because. Yeah, but 7-2 with 102 loss, 15 points. Crazy. Yeah, so I mean, definitely said the middle-aged man is having a ton of points this season and the goals. That if that keeps up, that would be pretty impressive. I mean, he's got 14 points in 10 games, 7 goals, 7 assists. Very interesting here. We have Carolina 3rd place, 6-2-0. They'll probably move up to 1st or 2nd. Later, and the Devils, the same thing. They'll be 1st or 2nd. I think Pittsburgh, maybe wild card. I don't think so, though. I think they'll be out of the playoffs. I think this is just the beginning of the year spike thing. But yeah, one of the main things that people are looking at right now is the fact that the Rangers, you thought they're just going to be bounced back here. They got Sullivan's their coach. But yeah, they're quick to blame it on him because they're 3-5-2 with 8 points. They're They're 9th place.
Well, they also lost to San Jose. They lost to Calgary. They have not played very good teams, and they've been losing.
Yeah.
You know, the Metro, so we talk about the Atlantic, and you see all these good teams, and you think, well, maybe they'll get both wild cards. But the only problem with that is that the Metro is good this year, and nobody saw this coming. Jersey's a wagon. New Jersey is finally doing the thing that everybody thought they could do. Hughes has to stay healthy, of course. but they are scared. New Jersey is just a scary, scary team. They're plus 13 goal differential in 9 games. Pittsburgh, you know, everyone predicting them to fall off. I predict them to fall off, but you know, Crosby's got 14 points in 10 games. Brazeau's been really good. Mantha was a really good pickup for them. He's almost point a game. And by the way, I do believe scoring is up this year. I have to look at the numbers, but it just seems like there's so many point a game guys. But Pittsburgh, they have a little jump now with these guys, and if they can keep this going, Kindle's a good rookie. They can make some noise. The Islanders are better. You know, Schaefer just makes the team better. The power play's better. Possession's better. Philly is scary. I mean, Philly's got some guys, you know. They got Michkov. They have Zegras. That's a great pickup for them. They have Couturier and the guys that they usually have. They'll hang around. And the Rangers being last is really remarkable, given they won the President's Trophy a couple of years ago. That when Drury traded Trouba, I think that was the beginning of the end for that team. That was just a colossal mistake. You don't trade Trouba, Kreider, Kakko, and not see a fall off in production. And they have 22 goals in 10 games. I mean, they got shut out a bunch of times at home to start the season. They are in a world of trouble. But, I mean, if you think that their talent will just win them some games and they're the worst team in the Metro is pretty good. So this is really interesting. The East is very interesting. I don't know if there are a lot of dominant teams in the East, but there are a lot of very competitive teams. So I'm going to see how this one goes here.
Yeah, I mean, like, the Rangers, I mean, it's like, when you trade away 4 of your best guys, you're just not going to win.
That Drury extended Zibanejad, too, which is looking like a really terrible contract.
Yeah, I don't know what he was doing, and he got rid of Trouba, Kreider, Kakko, K'Andre Miller, and it's not looking good for them right now. So, yeah, I think they will win some games. I don't think they're going to be the 4th worst team in the league like they are right now. Or really, yeah, I think they'll be like 20th around them. I don't know about the end of the league, but it's not sustainable. Best at 16, I think. Yeah, I think the Islanders may be able to jump into that second or best by the end of the year, but they're very competitive this year, as you also have Washington to 12 points. Then those top 3, if Pittsburgh stays relevant, will be very interesting throughout the year.
And we just have to note what Crosby's doing is just bonkers. It's insane.
Yeah.
I mean, the guy, what is he, 38? I don't know how old he is.
He's 38. He got 1,701 points. That's crazy.
He's got 14 points in 10 games. He's over point. I mean, he's been point a game for 20 years. It's just, people are talking about Crosby. You can make the argument he's the best player of all time. I'm not making that argument. But the fact that it's gotten to that point where people are even putting it out there, it's just amazing. I mean, that guy's incredible.
Yeah, like you have Max. And Max, he gets 2,000 if he plays for a super long time. But honestly, he might do that because players are playing for longer time these days. Yeah, so we kind of covered the East so far, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, so now we're going to move on to the West, where we also have some surprises. I wouldn't say as many as the East, but definitely some. So you want to get started?
Yeah, I mean, let's look at the Central. We'll go in based on geography here. I mean, it doesn't, obviously what jumps out is Utah, 8-2. Utah is just such an exciting team. They're young. All of the picks and all of the work they put in to build this young, fast team, it's finally panning out. You have to feel bad for the Arizona fans because they waited, not only did they wait decades to have a good team, but they waited for this group of kids to come up and finally get there. And as soon as they come up and get there, the team moves to Utah. And as an Islander fan and living through an era where the Islanders almost moved, I feel really bad for them. I hope that they can find some solace and some gratification and enjoy the run that Utah's doing. Although I get that it's not the same team and all that. Utah looks amazing. Peterka, that was an amazing trade for Utah. That was great that they picked him up. And I'm really happy for them. They changed their name. They have, Utah's got a new team and it's really exciting. It's a fun team to watch. It should really grow the game in Utah and build a fan base. This division, it's interesting. Minnesota, people expect them to be better. I expect them to be better. They're now 7th in the division. So assuming that they make a run, Chicago's doing better. Nazar really is helping out Bedard. Bedard looks a lot better in my opinion. Dallas is solid. Winnipeg is solid. They have Tays. Colorado's Colorado. They're amazing. And St. Louis, I think St. Louis is better than people realize. I think they're pretty good. So I think this is also going to be a really competitive division. And aside from Nashville, I don't really see anyone where I think, oh, they're just going to completely fall off and hit the floor. So it's exciting over there.
Yeah. Some other points I wanted to bring up. I mean, yeah, Edmonton and Vancouver currently out of the wild card spot. They're definitely going to bounce back, make it even more competitive. Chicago, they're obviously second place in the wild card. So if they can stay relevant, then it will be interesting. You got Seattle. Yeah, definitely the addition of Lambert. And just some other players like Montour playing pretty well. It just makes them competitive. So yeah, so a lot of teams jumping out at the start of this season. Yeah, and then you also got some teams at the bottom here. You got Nashville. Maybe they'll make a bounce back. They're exactly 510 points this season so far, but you never know. Calgary, last place. Hopefully Wolf can just develop, get some more prospects. They really just gotta get some more. That's what they do. San Jose, yeah, they have a ton of young guys, probably best prospect pool in the NHL, probably by far. So in a couple of years, in 3 years, they're going to be really good. St. Louis, I think they'll make a bounce back, but yeah, when you got St. Louis, Minnesota, as you said, you have Anaheim, maybe they'll do something. You have a lot of teams here that could all be good, and it's pretty exciting. So yeah, there are really only like 5 outliers to this.
I actually, the Pacific doesn't excite me particularly. I think Vegas is, first of all, spoiler alert, I'm picking Vegas to win the Cup. Dorofeyev.
Oh yeah, me too.
Dorofeyev is just insane. This guy's got 10 goals already. He's insane. They got Marner. They've always had a good team. And I'm looking up and down that division, and I don't really see a team that's going to challenge them. I don't believe in Edmonton. I get it. 2 Stanley Cup Finals. I get it. Game 7. I understand that. I don't believe in them because Skinner is awful. That guy is horrible. And if you're an Edmonton fan, you have to get rid of this guy. The number of highlights of him just giving the puck to a forechecker and having the forechecker put it in an empty net. And along with that, Bouchard. Holy hell, Bouchard is just not a good defensive defenseman. And I know, I get it. He scores and he runs the power play, but you need those guys to play, 200-foot hockey defensive game in the playoffs. And I don't believe in Skinner or Bouchard. I don't care how many goals Draisaitl scores and how many assists McDavid has. I don't believe in Edmonton. And I'm looking up and down. I don't believe in Vancouver. The Kings are solid, but I don't think they're good enough. Seattle is a nice story. I don't think they're gonna hold on to that. Anaheim's a fun team. They're fun. They're fun to watch. San Jose, I think, is just one of the most exciting teams for the future. Macklin is the new Crosby. You heard it here first. That guy is insane. And with Misa, Will Smith, those guys, that's going to be so much fun, but they're not there yet. Ascarov's not ready. And so Vegas, I think, is just going to run away with this division. I think it's probably going to be the least competitive division in hockey this year.
Yeah, but I was talking about what about all of the wildcard too? All of those teams, they're really good. So I think they're all going to be competing for that. Those 2 conferences, both be very interesting this year. So yeah. So do you think we're done? Do you think we want to go to the important players and stuff, storylines?
Yeah, I think one of the things that you got to really look at is the goaltending early on. And so I think some teams just benefited from some really good goaltending, like Spencer Knight, Chicago. He's #1 goal saved above expected, 9.8. Vamelka, 6.1 for Seattle. This has to continue. I don't see this continuing. I think when you see these goalies with these numbers that are just jumping out, you have to think about what they call regression to the mean. They're going to fall back to earth here. And so that's what I would be looking at to see if these teams can hold their positions or if they're going to start to fall off in the league. So I was looking a lot at the goalies. What are you thinking about in terms of like players, storylines, stuff like that?
Yeah, so we just gotta start with some obvious ones here. I mean, we got Ovi, he's retiring. He's we're going back to Russia this year. So he's got 899 goals, gonna be goal 900 next time. 7 wins, 9 games, 2 goals, 5 assists. Maybe he'll get to 1700 points. You never know. Yeah, I mean, he can maybe leave the Washington to the playoff run. Maybe. McDavid, he's 28. So he's not like in the beginning of his prime anymore. But he's got 12 points in 10 games. But I really think this has to be a bounce back year for him because he had like 98 points last year, not even 100. So he's got to get he's got to come back to the 120 plus point guy.
He only has one goal. He only has one goal.
Yeah.
In 10 games.
He's getting assists from Draisaitl. I feel like Draisaitl these past 2 years has actually been better. And he's just putting in the goals, and David's getting the assists, but his assists are very good. Like Gavin McKenna.
How many goals did McDavid have last year?
Yeah, so and obviously injury shortened season, but so 67 games, 26 goals, 74 assists. The thing, we had 32 goals, 100 assists, 132 points the year before, but it's 64 goals, 89 assists, 153 points 4 years ago. But I mean, that was also when he was 24, 25, so that's very different from 28. But it's got to be a bounce back year for him to get back into this very high pace. That's for McDavid. I think Draisaitl is also, he is getting overshadowed by McDavid these past couple of years, but now it really has to show why he's being better in these last year or two.
So McDavid had a pace of 31 goals last year. He's on pace for 8. I mean, at what point do you start to get worried? 1 goal in 10 games, to me, I don't know, that's not good enough.
Yeah. I want to see, for me, I just want to see like a higher sample size. Like when I get to 30 games, then maybe like, is he out of his prime? Like he's not going to have a good season. I don't know. I'm kind of just waiting for that because he can never, like once he has a 3-goal game, then it all comes up.
I don't know what he's going to do after 2 years. He signed what essentially is a bridge deal, kind of, and 2 years. I think it's smart for superstar players to do that because upon the next contract, you're going to make a higher AAV. Why lock yourself into something when the cap's going up so much and your value's only going up? But I think he's kind of stuck because I don't think he can leave via free agency because the Edmonton will hate him and it will ruin his reputation. However, I don't think he can stay if he wants to win a cup because I don't believe Edmonton's ever going to win a cup. I just don't think they have the right team. I think when you look at Florida and you look at how gritty they are and the two-way players they have, obviously starting with Barkov, Edmonton doesn't have those guys. And I don't like what Edmonton did with the middle six and those filler guys that you get for the playoff runs. I don't like how they keep recycling them. I don't really like the direction they're going into. It's going to be very interesting to see what Connor does. But I don't think he can leave, but I don't think he could stay either if he wants to win. So it's an interesting situation over there in Edmonton.
So that's McDavid. You also got these other suspects. I mean, I want to talk about Draisaitl a little bit. 11 points in end games, but 7 goals is what really stands out, as you were saying before with McDavid. So it's pretty evident that McDavid is getting all these assists up with Draisaitl. So there are also so suspects. Schaefer, number 1 overall pick, doing very good this season. If he keeps at the pace, at least a little bit, he could. If he has 50 points, then I think it's Calder. But I think Demidov has got this thing. But yeah, he's super fast. Some comparing to McDavid, and he's actually in on the percentiles on that McDavid and McKinnon. So great future prospects for him. And he could be a great defenseman.
People are looking at the 6 points in 7 games or 7 points in 6 games.
7 points in 8 games.
7 points in 8 games now. It was 7 in 6, and then he was scoreless in 2. And obviously that's really exciting, and it gets people, checking out the Islanders. But what people don't understand is that he has impacted the team in so many ways. Just his ability to possess the puck, make breakout passes, control the blue line on the power play. The amount of possession the Islanders are getting, which is translating into goals. It's also translating into better defense because we're not playing in our end the whole time. It's amazing. The composure that he has, the speed, the moves, and to be so young, it's every day he does something that we sit here and say, I can't believe that he just did that. It's unbelievable. But he's impacted the team so much. It's really brilliant that he's able to come into the league so young. It's really amazing. But Demidov, I think, wins the Calder just because he's going to play more. Schaefer is not going to get 25 minutes a game throughout the whole season. And if he does, it's probably going to get hurt. Demidov is going to play, and Montreal just puts up so many points. Hudson is so good. Caulfield is so good that I think he takes it. What else is going on? You got some guys at the top of the list here. Eichel, 16 points. What about Nick Schmaltz? 16 points in a contract year. In a contract. What a brilliant time to have an amazing start to the season when you're going to sign a new deal. Unbelievable.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what he's going to do, if he's going to leave Utah or he's going to stay. I think he might stay, yeah. But as you were saying before, Ivan Demidov, he's a 19, 9 points in 10 games this season. Yeah, I think he's got it, as you said before. It's going to touch on that quickly. Yeah, so looking at some other players, I mean, we got Bedard. Has to be a bounce back year for him, getting that category that, dare I say, includes like Mac, Schaefer right now, Demidov. But yeah, I mean, it's kind of people are overhyping this thing because he has 136 points in 159 games, but he does have a good year this year, 70 points. All of that, but he's got 8 points in 9 games right now, so hopefully Chicago can make a bounce back with Frank Nazar this year too.
It's tough. I mean, going back, you had Zegras, who was kind of the face of the league in terms of the future. And on the cover of Shell, he struggled a little bit. Then Bedard became the face of the league. And I think now with these new guys coming in, you got Macklin coming in, you got Schaefer here, you got McKenna coming next year. Maybe that takes some of the pressure off of Bedard in terms of being the face of the NHL. Maybe he's able to just focus on the Blackhawks, and hopefully they put some pieces around him and he's able to develop his game. I wonder if that's helping him this year, where the attention's not on Bedard as much, given all these other players and developments that are going on. But it just seemed like people were piling on him unfairly when the guy is basically a point-a-game player for his young career already.
Yeah, I think so. If he has bounced back, that'd be good. We also have more of this Montreal thing, not including Demidov, more with the defense, because, I mean, Montreal, they have Lane Hudson and they have Dobson. People all around the NHL are saying that was a win-win trade for both of us, and I honestly agree. But let's touch on Lane Hudson right now. 9 points in 9 games, crazy pace. If he keeps that up with slowing down a bit, he could have 50, 60, maybe even 70 points. This is going to be crazy. He's 21, I believe, turning 22 this year. But yeah, 77 points in 94 games. Very good player for Montreal, and I think with Dobson, they're going to be really good this year. I think people rather think right now they're going to regress, but and they're definitely going to, but I don't think it's as much as people think currently.
I think it comes down to their goaltending. I think they have, with Dobson now and Jack-Eye, they have the defense. They have the scoring up front. Can they get good goaltending? Montembeault, I'm not really sold on him, and he's not having a good start to the season. We'll see how this plays out. They might be the Edmonton of the East, where it's just they're scoring a million goals and the defense is letting them down. So we'll have to see. But Montreal is extremely exciting. They are going to be good for a very long time. I mean, these guys, Caulfield just keeps getting better. Dvorak, you have all these guys. I mean, they're going to keep developing, and they're going to be at the top of that division very soon. They are scary. I think Montreal and New Jersey are the two scariest teams in the league right now.
Yeah, now we're going to touch on the San Jose Sharks. Let's go to Mac. Insane start to the year. 15 points in 9 games, 6 goals and 9 assists. Only 19 years old. Obviously, first overall pick in the 2024 draft. Just shows on everybody that San Jose has. I mean, you got Max, 63 points last year. Didn't win the Calder because Hudson got it, but that's beside the point right now. You got Will Smith, you got William Eklund, you got Misa, who they drafted. Wilton. They're all playing right now. So very good San Jose team for the future. Probably the best in the league. Maybe Montreal, Jersey might beat them, but yeah, what do you got to say about that?
It seems like they drafted extremely well. They used this time at the bottom of the league very productively. San Jose was good for a very long time. They never broke through and won the cup, but They made a lot of deep playoff runs, and they used this time of being bad very well. The guys they picked up, they're just hitting on all these picks. They're going to, bring some more people in with the draft next year. And, you think about Edmonton, who just whiffed on all those first round picks when they were bad, except for Connor. And San Jose seems to be the opposite. I think that they are one of the most exciting teams just to watch and to watch their kids develop. Mac is the new Crosby, I think. Mac is he's so strong in the middle. He gets a shot off so quickly. Just amazing hockey sense, amazing shot. Had the 5 points against the Rangers. Unbelievable. I mean, he's just an unbelievable player. He's probably going to be, at some point in his career, the best player in the league, I think. He's unbelievable. You can't say enough positive things about Mac, and he just makes the other guys around him better. So it's going to be very fun to watch them develop. We'll see what Askarov does in goal. They might need a goalie. I'd like to see them add another defenseman, but they have time for that. So in the meantime, watch the forwards, watch the kids play. Just really exciting stuff, and they are rebuilding right. So that's really nice to see that they're not. It's not going to be a Buffalo or an Ottawa situation with San Jose. They're going to rebound pretty quickly.
Yeah, and now the second last team that we wanted to really touch on here, we're going to go the Rangers, because it's been a rough start for them. We're going to touch on Ilya Sorokin. Shesterkin, Igor Shesterkin. We're going to highlight him because he's really carrying this Rangers team. Really the only bright spot, I'd say, except out of some of their prospects this year. In this limited amount of games, but the start of the season has 225 goals against, 916 save percentage, 2 wins, 1 shutout. Just really spectacular to start this, and his career has followed that. So yeah, really one of the only bright spots of this team. But yeah, we're gonna touch on this entire team now.
Yeah, I mean, Shesterkin, you got to feel bad for him. You don't feel that bad for him. He signed a monster contract. He's getting paid living in Manhattan, but he's been so good. The Rangers have given up 26 goals in 10 games. 2.6 goals a game. You look at Pittsburgh's given up 27, right? But Pittsburgh scored 16 more goals than the Rangers. The Rangers are not scoring goals. That's really the Gavrikov, I think, has been really good solidifying the defense. And they haven't had that since they lost Trouba, but just this team can't score. And it seems like they brought together a collection of players when you think about Kreider and Trouba and Kakko and those guys. And they found lightning in a bottle for a few years where they were putting up monster numbers, but I don't think they have enough depth in scoring. I think they have one line. And then after their first line, you really step. Their middle six is just not scaring anybody. Panarin has to do everything. Zibanejad clearly looks like he's on the decline. People were calling for him to get traded last year. Kreider, I don't know what's going on with that. I mean, I get he's older. I get the cap hit and all that, but apparently he was injured. That's why he didn't play well. And if that's the case, to give up on a guy like that, he jumped out in Anaheim. He had 4 goals early on. I don't know where he's been recently. I don't know if he's been playing, but it's hard for them. And they don't really have a minor league system. Like we don't have guys coming up. They have Hoffman, and I don't know, he's not even ready, They don't really have any prospects that you can look to and say, okay, this guy's going to come in and make a difference. Being good, they've been good for a long time, so they didn't get high picks. And then, of course, they had the famous 2 high picks, and Lafreniere looks like he's a middle 6 guy, maybe a third liner. He does not look like a number 1 overall pick. So they're in a lot of trouble. And the Rangers always get around it by luring the best free agents. They always attract amazing free agents, and I'm sure they can continue to do that. But I mean, when you look at their roster, you look at JT Miller, you look at Panarin, you look at Zibanejad, they're old. They're in their 30s. What are they going to do in 5 years? They're going to have Fox and Igor, and that's it. So I think that Drury really screwed this franchise over. And it's really a shame because the amount of talent they had when they won the President's Trophy was sick. I mean, they had just an insane team. It seemed like they scored on the power play every single time.
Yeah, it's almost like Drury wanted to destroy that franchise last year. But anyway, touching on the prospects, I mean, I'll say Chris Kreider, 5 points in 5 games, 4 goals, 1 assist. He hasn't been playing.
Well, what was Kreider has 5 and 5?
5 and 5, 4 goals, 1 assist.
I wonder if he got hurt.
Yeah, his last game was October 19th versus Chicago. Yeah. So but anyway, talking about the process, it's like they don't really have anybody. They have one line and they have one defensive pairing, really, if you think about it. and they have Igor in there, and their prospects aren't really that good. I mean, they have Gabe Perov, #1 prospect ranked according to many sources. They have Oathman, as you said. They have Will Cooley. Yeah, but
well, I don't consider him a prospect.
yeah, he's kind of old and he's playing. So really, those are the only two prospects, Oathman and Perov, that are really noticeable and can be worth something. Yeah, so they can sign the best free agents, but what is their core going to do in 5 years? And
They'd have to.
they're going to be regressing. I mean, Panarin, they're regressing, and you're just kind of going to see that in a couple of years. And even if they sign the best free agents, their core is still going to be old, so they have to send in a lot of guys to be competitive. I mean, Panarin, you see 7 points, 10 games, 2 goals, 5 assists. He's -5. He's 33. So pretty.
2 goals, but 70 less 10 games. That's not terrible.
Yeah, but I do think if he could that 120 points, and I don't think that he's going to get that.
Yeah, it's an interesting question. Do you go for a rebuild? Do you just try to compete for the cup? Do you try to retool? They're kind of in no man's land right now.
Yeah.
They have too much talent to knock it all down, but they're not good enough to compete with the Devils and the Hurricanes. So it's interesting. It's going to be very interesting. It seems like they might have to make a hockey trade and just trade one of their older forwards, maybe a younger forward, and then maybe they get a pick, or maybe they change the scenery, because they have to try something. I mean, it's getting bad. I mean, they got blown out by Calgary at home. That's just unacceptable. Oh no, I was in Calgary, I think, but that was unacceptable. To lose that badly to the worst team in hockey.
Yeah, I mean, they cannot buy a win at home, and I think that if I was Drew right now, I would feel like I would probably get some guys and just make some runs at the cup for like the next 4 years, and then when all your guys are done, just blow it up and rebuild. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, but they cannot buy a win at home this season, and I think that they will get better. I think they're going to average out from somewhere from like 15 to 20, but I don't really see them going further than that in the next 4 or 5 years.
They're really going to have
until unless they like get a ton of guys. But after that, then they're definitely going to have to retool, because no free agents might not even be able to save that team, because everybody will just be old unless they sign guys or trade guys.
They might want to think about trading Panarin, but you'd want to get back a #1 and a very good current player.
Yeah,
so maybe a 30 goal guy plus a #1, or 25 goal guy, something like that. Because so many teams would jump at having Panarin, and given that Panarin doesn't kind of fit their timeline anymore. So
yeah,
getting rid of Panarin, you could get a haul for him in a way that you couldn't get. You not trading Fox, and Mika's not going to get you a haul. You're not trading Igor. Fox and Igor, they're not going anywhere forever. So they might want to think about moving on from Panarin. And then if you can get a free agent that makes, Panarin like money, maybe you could even just replace him in free agency, because the Rangers are so good at that. And then maybe you're not really taking a hit in your competitiveness in the short term, because the Rangers are very good at rebuilding. They rarely rebuild, and when they do, they get back there really fast. So that could be an idea.
Yeah, and I think that Panarin, I think this would be the best time to trade Panarin. I think we'll just get worse from here, because I think he's going to regress, and he's just going to get older from here. And I think Zibanejad also maybe time to move on from him if he also keeps progressing. So yeah, those Rangers. And last team of the day, let's do the Maple Leafs.
Oh yeah, the Maple Leafs.
To highlight Austin Matthews, got 8 wins in 9 games so far, 5 goals, 3 assists. He's got to have bounce back, but yeah, as you said, they've put Nyes in a definite position where he's got to replace Marner, and they probably have to get some more guys on it. So what do you have to say about that?
I think Toronto is. I think it's the same story. I just think Solars hasn't been good at all. The goaltending is always the issue. I think in that division, I think it's probably the hardest division in hockey. So you just want to tread water. Like they're 4-1. In 6th right now. You just want to stay in the mix. I wouldn't really be too concerned that they're not top 2 or top 3 even, because that's a very tough division. And with Montreal just, killing it so far, that's going to be competitive. So I think they're fine. I don't mind that they lost Marner, but the defensive holes have been glaring for so long. And they haven't fixed it. And I think that's really the bigger issue. They need to fix the back end and the goaltending. It's criminal that they're letting these Hall of Fame offensive talents just wither on a team that can't play defense. But I was impressed by how their big three jumped out, how many points they have. That was Nylander, 11 assists, Tavares, 500 goals. So, I mean, yeah, they're going to be in the mix. I picked them to win the Cup.
Yeah.
So I did believe in them.
Yeah, I mean, you bet Dallas Tampa a couple of years ago, but I
did hit Toronto to win the Cup. I think that division is going to be really exciting, and I can't sit here and tell you who the top 4 teams are going to be even. We are seeing a changing of the guard, but Tampa and Toronto have so much talent. They've world-class talent that will never allow them to sink. They will always be competitive with a Kucherov and a Matthews and a Nylander and a Braden Point and all those guys. So that's what makes it fun. So we'll see how it goes, but I'd be looking at... So, for example, Toronto, 9 games, they gave up 33 goals, right? So that's almost 4 goals a game. So that's just completely unacceptable. They have to clean that up. So that's what I'd be looking at.
Oh, yeah. So that's basically our season recap. So this first episode of Mega Hockey in the new era. Our next episode will either be this Saturday or next Saturday for just a weekly recap, probably not as long as this. Also we're gonna do a post. If you can comment questions that you want us to answer in these upcoming pods on YouTube on our community tab. Comment on this pod. Who do you think will be good this season? Who do you think will be bad? And so that's this episode of Mega Hockey. We'll catch you next time. Bye.